With over 10,000 cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG game, where do you start when you want to build a deck? Well, most people start on the internet, most notably YouTube. However, how good is some of these decks that we see profiled day in and day out on that platform? Me being the curious person I am, I'm going to try and find out. Welcome to NetDeck 101. Welcome to a new series, ladies and gents. I'm sure you know who it is by now.
Jimothy.
So, netdecking, kind of frowned upon in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. However, it can be kind of beneficial if you take certain parts or aspects of a person's deck and kind of mold it with your own philosophy. That's why I feel there's quite a bit of value to netdecking, as well as being able to experience some cards you may not have heard of. Now, the deck that we're going to be focusing on today is a deck done by Dark Armed Duelist on PK Knight, or Phantom Knight as it were. This deck was released approximately about 5 days ago or so it's pretty new, pretty relevant, or Master Rule 2020. So what we're going to be doing is going into the deck card for card, taking those cards, running a few games on EDO Pro, and then giving my overall evaluation at the end. So without wasting any more of your time, ladies and gents, let's get into the duels. So ladies and gents, this is the list that Dark Armed Duelist profiled on his channel. Now I'm not going to go through all of the cards, but basically I just want to talk about the pros and the cons of this particular build. So starting off with the pros, it's a Phantom Knights deck, so we got to see a lot of our Phantom Knight monsters. I think the ratios are pretty correct in regards to Ancient Cloak, Boots, Gloves, and Kagamucha Knight. The rest of the support cards that alongside with them were really good as well, particularly Dark Armed Dragon. This thing was an absolute MVP in this deck, just popping cards left, right and center, and just wiping your opponent's field. Really good card in this deck, and it's probably something that I might even take into my own Phantom Knight build. Allure of Darkness was nice. The trap lineup was okay, which I'll come on to the cons, but obviously Phantom Knight's Fogblade was the main trap of the game. Again, just shutting down complete turns for my opponent. With regards to the extra deck was pretty solid apart from a few cards. The real MVP was obviously Breaksword, just being able to get cards into the graveyard to fill it up and just kind of like tutor how many dark monsters we were in our graveyard. Just being able to get out our Dark Armed Dragon was really the main key for me, and that's probably why I chose to go into Breaksword a lot more, because it's instant 3 dark monsters in your graveyard if you use this effect correctly. So yeah, right, on to the cons. The first con I want to talk about is nothing really to do with this particular build, but just Phantom Knights in general. They don't do so well going second, particularly against boards that contain a lot of negations or interruptions or disruptions. This deck just does not do well against those boards. Second thing, this is probably more pertinent to the build. There was quite a high trap count, so in a few matches that I did play with this deck, I found myself bricking a lot because I draw like 2 or 3 traps along with a couple of spells that just did nothing, which made for some awkward situations. So yeah. Also, some of the extra deck choices, for example, Wee Witch's Apprentice. It's a nice tech, it does synergize well with the deck. However, I did not feel myself going into, didn't go into this card at all. It didn't really have any utility in my opinion. The next card is Predaplant Verte Anaconda. We all know what it does. It is a nice tech and it can come in clutch at times. However, the times that I probably would have used this card, I already had Super Polymerization in my hand, because Super Poly is actually at 3 in this particular build. So I didn't find myself going into Verte Anaconda that much. Obviously, the effect of Verte Anaconda can be negated, whereas if you just use Super Polymerization, it's fine, it will just go through. So yeah, I probably would take out Super Poly. Some of the other choices were nice. It was good to go into a few of the synchro monsters, specifically High Speed Roy Chambara, which is just basically OTK for days. So all in all, ladies and gents, it's a solid list. It's Phantom Knights. But it's something that I probably would consider using if I was building a Phantom Knights deck. So shout out to Dark Armed Duelist for providing the deck profile, and I'll leave a link in the description to his original profile. And once again, shout out to Team Body Force for the inspiration. So ladies and gents, we will be continuing this series. Were there any decisions or choices you feel that I made? Do you disagree with my evaluation? If so, get at me in the comment section below. And as always, if you did like this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.